Good morning, sisters and brothers. As we continue to really, we're kind of one track people, right? One track. That track is Jesus. Jesus all over. He is our path. He is our destination. He is the starting line and He is the finish line. He's the Alpha and the Omega. We want to learn Him so that we can be like Him and that we can love like Him. And so just been thinking about some of the stories even about him that we've spent time praying through, whether that has been the moment when two of his disciples, the brothers, send their mom, cheap shot, right? Send their mom to request that they get the right and left seats of the seats of power, right? The two right next to the center. And Jesus says, look, the rulers of the Gentiles, the Roman rulers, they lord it over their people, right? And he says, not so with you. And he says, going to be great. You got to be a servant. You got to serve. I think we've also looked at and spent time praying through that moment in the evening before he is arrested. And he is teaching them once again, as he's done over and over again, about how to follow him and how to be an example of who he is. And what he does is he puts a towel around his waist and he takes the role of a slave, the bottom of the barrel, and he washes their feet. And then he says, what I've done to you, go and do also. This is an example for you, he says. And then we spent time, the earliest Christians saw this in Jesus. This reveals who God is. This isn't him, maybe even we talked about him, it's not undercover boss, right? Where the CEO goes to work on the line and at the end of the episode, he goes back to the corner office. God doesn't go back to the corner office. God is a servant. He doesn't just put on the towel for a moment. He's wearing it always. And in that passage, it was Philippians, where the earliest followers believed that Jesus had this nature of God in him, but that he let it go. He made himself nothing. Right? He emptied himself out to become a slave. And not just a slave, but a human. And not just a human, but to a human who dies. And not just a human who dies, a human who dies the most shameful of deaths, a crucifixion. All of this to say, Jesus wants us, to the people around us, people in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in the places we work, in the school we're in. He wants us to have a posture of serving toward them. He wants us to serve them as he has served us. And I think one of the most basic ways we can do that is we can pray for people. I think if we begin to pray, we begin to say the words, even if we don't 100% mean them. As we begin to say the words, we begin to want it more and more. So let's pray. And if you would think about right now, think about someone, whoever comes to mind. It may be somebody in your family. It may be somebody in the place that you work or the school that you're in or a neighbor or somebody you know in a community or just whoever comes to mind that right now you think they need to be blessed, right? That you want them to be blessed. Think of that person. And then let's pray this prayer. I'll be texting along with you. It's a blessing prayer from the book of Numbers. It is given to the priest to pray over God's people. And this is an adaptation. Think of that person and pray the prayer. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine on you and be gracious to you. And may he turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Let's keep praying that prayer for the people in our lives. Let's keep inviting God's goodness into their life as his goodness is into ours. So grace and peace, my friends.